Welcome back. I'm so excited you actually clicked through this page. I want to walk you through a unique technique that I use to help my clients overcome emotional eating or whatever obstacle that may get in their way while they're on their journey. Now look, you got to be able to stick to your diet long enough to get real success. And the only way to really do that is to get through one day at a time, right? Now, I don't know if you have, a small amount of weight to release or a great deal amount of weight to release. The point is that the one thing I've noticed over the last 11 years is what happened with my clients, no matter how quickly or well they were going on their journey, their emotions seem to get in the way. It's that conversation that pops into your head that says either you're losing weight fast enough, so maybe you should cheat, or maybe you should actually, it's not working for you, or maybe you're releasing weight very effectively, you're happy, and you have that voice that comes in your head that says, girl, you've done so well, you've been so good for this long, it's time for you to give yourself a treat. Either way, if it gets in your way from you completing the journey and getting into the very best shape of your life, I want to walk you through this short technique. Now, granted, you're going to have to use it. It's very powerful, but when you're trying to learn anything new, you're going to have to practice it and put it into action each and every time the situation arises. So what that looks like is, I want you to take yourself back to the most recent moment in which you felt disappointed in yourself, disappointed in how you showed up for anything. And let's assume it's your diet and you've been on it for a while and you decided for some reason to step outside, or you had some cravings late at night and you decided to take a bite of something that wasn't on your journey or on your protocol. How did you feel? So we first have a thought and then we have a feeling. And what happens is, usually what drives us to eating outside of our diet plan is our emotions, that we have a craving or we have a feeling or something happens in our life. We have a bad day, or we have a breakup, we have an argument with a spouse or a sibling. And the first thing we want to do is go get comfort. And if you've been trained as a kid that food is comfort, that is going to be your choice. So I want you to suspend all doubt for a moment. I want you to actually pretend that what I'm going to tell you is absolutely true, and that if you actually do it, you can overcome any obstacle that gets in your way on any diet that you're on right now. Now, granted, I told you in the very beginning of this, when you saw your first video, that I'm #1 coach in the world when it comes to losing weight in a very effective way. And I'm going to get to that at the end of this video, but I want to help you where you are right now. You may be on a nutrition plan or diet plan right now. That may be what you signed up for, and your commitment is to get through it. So I want to help you do that in the next few minutes. So I want you to go back to that state where you wake up the next morning, excuse me, and you feel disappointed in the behavior that you did the night before. Say you had a binge eating moment, or you went off your diet plan, or you just had a bad day and you chose to comfort yourself with some sort of food or drink, right? I want you to think and say, okay, what was I feeling at the time? Now, I believe there's 5 core emotions and 1 major one, right? So you have happy, sad, mad, glad, and afraid, and then you have shame, right? Shame is the most powerful, or we say the lowest form of energy the body can produce at any given time. We have happy, which we're pretty good at. Glad, we're pretty good at. This means that you're neutral. Nothing bad happened, nothing great happened. It's just glad, it's just a good day. Then you have mad, which is anger, sadness, which could manifest in all kinds of ways, depression, right? And then you have fear, that anxiety that comes up of something that's going to happen, in the future that you may or think you have no control over. And then you have the shame. Shame is, like I said, the one that drives a lot of people. But regardless if it's happy, sad, mad, glad, or afraid, or shame, the point is that with that thought comes in a feeling, an emotion, and then it becomes a trigger, and then it becomes a behavior after that. What is your pattern of behavior? Is your pattern of behavior that you feel sad or angry and you go to food? So I want you to identify that. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to get into a place where you're not going to be interrupted. There's not going to be the kids running in or someone asking you questions. Don't do this at work. Don't do this driving. Let's you pull over, get some quiet space where you actually can take some time to tap into yourself, okay? And what I want you to do basically is I want you to close your eyes and ask yourself, say your name, and ask yourself, what am I feeling at this moment? And the only choices you have is happy, sad, mad, glad, or afraid, or shame, right? Now you're gonna say, well, agitated. Well, that's a form of anger. Or you're gonna say anxious. Well, that's a sign. That's a kind of a sign of fear. So you're going to probably find other adjectives to describe what these 6 core feelings are. But I want you just, if you had to hone into just one of those, happy, sad, mad, glad, or afraid, or shame, which one are you feeling? Let's say it's sadness. That seems to be the number one trigger for people, especially now in the environment which we're in right now. There's fear and sadness that's going on, and some anger. People are kind of pissed off too, right? So let's choose sadness. So we're going to choose sadness as the feeling that you're feeling right now, or the emotion that you're feeling right now in this moment. So I want you to close your eyes and say, okay, you got sadness. I want you to see if that sadness is manifesting somewhere physically in your body. So I want you to scan your body from head to toe and see if you find a blockage or a mass or something that symbolize where that feeling of sadness is. And some of you may know where it is right away. You may say it's sitting right in the middle of my chest, it's in my throat, it's in my heart, it's in my stomach, the pit of my stomach. Find out locate where that emotion is being harnessed right now, where it's holding up space, and I want you to locate it. So you locate it. So you say, I got sadness. If I found it, it's right in the pit of my stomach, right below my sternum. And I'm going to ask you, what size is it? Right now, pretend that it's just a mass, it's a sphere. And I do size it so you can kind of get the impact of how deep that emotion is. So the deepest part of sadness, say it's the size of a basketball, and then gradually goes down to the size of a volleyball, softball, baseball, golf ball, marble, and grain of sand. So when you're looking at the magnitude of the sadness you're feeling in this moment, I want you to put a size to it based on one of those spheres. Now you can use any object you want, but I'm just going to give you a technique basically to do it. So you go, okay, so right now I'm feeling it's about the size of a volleyball right now because I'm pretty sad. Got it. Okay. So now that you've identified the feeling of the emotion, you've located the location of the feeling in your body, you've now given it a size. The next thing is I want you to give it a color. Whatever the first color that comes to you that sphere is, I want you to blurt that out, right? And for some reason I just close mine is pink, right? Doesn't mean that the color doesn't immediately have to correspond with the emotion or the fear. Some people think that if I'm sad, then it should be black or some sort of dark color. Not necessarily. Whatever the color is just giving you ability, your brain and your thought to hone in on that emotion that is swirling right there in the middle of your sternum, in the middle of your stomach, right? So now you have it's pink. Okay, so now all you gotta do now, I just want you to breathe in for the count of 4 and breathe out for the count of 4. Now I find it helpful knowing that it's a sphere, knowing that it's the size of a volleyball, that as I'm doing this activity and breathing, I'm actually putting my hands on the volleyball, circling, putting it around the size of the sphere. And as I breathe in for 4, and I breathe out for 4, every time you breathe out, I want you to shrink down the size of that sphere. So now I don't want you to force it, but I want you to visualize that you now harnessed that sadness in you. And the goal is to let this energy out. All emotion is energy. Just like fat in your body, it's energy. And your fat cells are tied to your emotional cells. So I want you to go through the process of actually metaphorically and physically shrinking this energy, releasing this energy with every breath that you exhale. I want you to shrink that sphere down more. So go ahead and do that. And I want you to continue to keep breathing, and I'm talking to this, so I want you to kind of get the instruction of what I do, then I want you to kind of turn off the tape and then the video and then try this again on your own without me talking to you through it. I don't want to interrupt the process for you, but I also want to walk you through this in a very short period of time. So each time you breathe in and out, I want you to physically start moving your hands smaller and smaller and smaller to as small as you can get it. Now, the first time out, you may not be able to shrink it past the baseball, right? That's fine. The next time the emotion comes up, I want you to do the same exercise again, but this time your goal is to get it all the way down to a grain of sand and watch that dissipate dissipate that energy into the universe. What that does now, instead of you taking that energy and stuffing it in your fat cells, you're now actually releasing that energy to your higher power, to God, to the universe, whatever you attach your higher power to, if you have one. But you're letting that energy out of the body. The goal is that as we release body fat, we're letting that energy out of the body. If you release body fat, you let the energy out, it doesn't come back. If you lose body fat, if you lose weight, you've already programmed your mind to go and find that again. And we've been programmed as human beings that when you lose something, what do? We frantically look for it until we find it. And if we can't find it, we get frustrated. Well, guess what? Fat's pretty easy to find if you want it to, if you want to find it again. So I want you to go through this exercise by breathing in and breathing out. So this is what happens. First, when you're in that dialogue that comes up, that whatever that loop is, if you've been in, that repeated loop that causes you to derail from success while you're on your weight loss journey, as soon as you ask yourself the question, the brain has to stop the dialogue, the story, and answer the question. Once you've done that, you've instantly stopped the madness in its tracks. The loop can't continue because you now have to answer the question. Now, if you go from answering the question and realizing, tapping into the emotion that you're feeling, instead of running from that emotion, instead of not wanting to feel that emotion, this goes for men as well. Men aren't immune to emotional eating. They're just not as willing sometimes as women are to actually do these exercises to improve the results that they're looking for. So I want you to realize that once you ask yourself to bring the question, it stops and it goes, okay, what am I feeling? And you go happy, sad, mad, glad, or afraid, or shame. And it's going to come to you. If you just give it a minute, it's going to come to you and it's going to say it out loud, your voice, whatever your inner voice is. I'm really sad right now. Got it. And it doesn't matter what the source of the sadness is or the source of the anger. People want to go, oh, Johnny made me pissed off or Johnny made me mad or it's your fault. No, all that emotion is yours. It was in you before he, she, or it triggered it. But the point is, it's going to continue to keep triggering until you're ready to release it permanently. So as you go through this exercise, you identify it, right? Give it a location, locate it where it is in your body, give it a color, give it a size, give it a color. Then you start breathing 4 in and 4 out, shrinking down that motion and energy and letting that energy out to God or to whatever your higher power is. I promise you, if you continue to do this each and every time, and you may have to do it 10, 15 times a day, but I promise if you do it each and every time, you start to realize that the anxiety that comes up in you, whatever the fear is that comes up in you, the anger, the emotion, whatever that emotion is that is triggering your need to step outside the boundary of the goal that you set for yourself will dissipate. You'll eventually do it in seconds. You go, oh, that's anger. I got it. Where is it? It's in my chest. Okay, got it. What color is it? Oh, it's purple. Great. It's about the size of a baseball. Perfect. Let's breathe through it. This exercise will take you 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes max to do. But if you do it each and every time, you'll become a master of it. You'll become a master of your emotions. You'll realize that happy and sad are no better than the other. You're just giving it different meanings. And you'll realize that all these emotions are just energy. They all have the meaning you give to it. And once you shift the meaning of the energy and you actually learn to release it, you'll no longer be crippled by your emotional eating. I hope this technique helps you. If you want to learn what I do and why I'm the #1 coach in the world when it comes to losing weight in this very specific way that not too many people know about, go ahead and fill out the application below, set up a time, let's talk, let's chat. I'll walk you through what I do, how it works, and why it works. You can really, I basically been the master of having people release anywhere from 1/2 pound to 1.5 pounds a day, sometimes 2 pounds a day with my plan. I know it sounds pretty outrageous, but the point is that it's very possible, has a 98% success rate as long as you follow it. And I want to tell you about that and share that with you. So go through the application. Yes, the application is extensive. And the reason is because this program is for people who are serious about changing their life, serious about getting in the body of their life. They're not tire kickers, not going, well, I'm going to try a new diet. You have to make a commitment to change your life. The first step to that commitment was you clicking this video out of curiosity. The second step of that commitment was you watching this 13, 14-minute video on this technique on how to stop emotional eating or sabotaging your diet plan. Now you can actually utilize this technique and start it right now today and start using it and help you help you succeed on the plan you're on right now. And if you want to look at a different plan that maybe can give you faster results, more long-term permanent results, you give me a call. Fill out the application, set up a time for us to talk. I'll walk you through what I do and how I do it, and we'll see if you're the right candidate for me and I'm the right coach for you, and this program is for you. I appreciate you being here. I hope you get something out of this technique in the video. Use it. I promise you, it'll make huge changes in your life. Namaste. The light in me meets and sees and greets the amazing light in you. Take care. Bye-bye.